Welcome everyone to another Wednesday Thrift Rescuing. I want to make this one quick and simple and easy. I've got some things to do, although I was just reading Am I the Asshole on Reddit, and oh my god, there was I love it when a thread starts with like one idea and then they slowly release the information and then they answer certain questions and then you're like, oh no, you need to stop everything. This is really creepy. But getting back to all of this stuff, I went today and I got quite a few good things. I actually ended up bringing one of the candles that I made to the girl who normally checks me out. And she really liked it. That was adorable. But I did have to ask someone to go in front of me so that I got her instead of the other guy. And I was like, yeah, I know it's weird that I'm asking for a specific person to check me out, but I make candles. I think that's all that was too much, except that I wore a wrap dress today and it was windy outside and I was carrying this big old basket with all of the glass. And the way that I was facing, all of the wind just came up and blew my skirt away. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to get my glass to my car. It's a red, white, and blue. I have underwear on. So that's what I did. And on that note, let's get started on some of the stuff. I didn't get a ton of jewelry. I did get quite a few pins, and then I got a couple of books, and then I'll show you some of the other glassware. Let's start with the necklaces first. So if you see the necklace that I'm actually wearing, I made it and I wanted to go and look for more charms today to go and make other necklaces because I was doing the whole embroidery thread is what I'm using for the actual string and it looks really cool. But this one is the first necklace that I ended up finding. So you're just gonna see that these are just multi-faceted colored beads with some cute little silver sparkle ones. This was originally it looks like rosary prayer beads. It looks like the number counting is correct. But we'll see. I liked him and I think he will work pretty well, and he was $1.99, so at those prices, what are you losing out on? This is the next one. So the same kind of similar idea with those faceted beads, but these are actually larger ones, so I might keep these like if I wanted to do like a central pendant one, so like the actual center one is the largest one. I also kind of like that they're big, and I might just keep some of them with having these side caps on and then just using them as a singular one, like actually like clamping next to them with the silver clamp so that it stays in place. So that's another idea that I think that I kind of want to go and do. So I found these and I thought I was pretty excited, and I still have a lot of beads from everything else that I haven't gotten to do and deal with and gone through and everything else. But I found this guy and I liked him. And again, for $1, what's the harm in any of it? Then that is all of the necklaces this week. I know, it's shocking and crazy. This one right here was a cool little bracelet that I found that was for $1.99. So we have these big, beautiful beads, and then we just have all of these little tiny random charms. It's actually a really cute little bracelet, although I do think that I'm going to take it apart for all of its components. But I think whoever did it actually did a really good job of actually putting all of these individual charms on it. Although speaking of some of these charms, because it does kind of give you like that charm bracelety feel, like if you can even see that little like gold heart, that brings me to my next one, which is a little tiny charm holder. So I haven't really seen charm holders like this. I did want to keep it on its original packaging just to kind of give you that like vintage feel. It's a little gold butterfly, but this is actually a charm holder. So it looks like you would just literally pop this guy out on this side, put your little charms on here, just connect it back on up. Sorry. And now you have your little pendant that has all of your charms, and that makes it a lot easier. So I actually really liked this as a charm one. This looks like it's a higher quality, like possibly honestly like a 14 karat gold, very thin overlay is what it kind of actually looks like. It's definitely not solid gold, but it does almost look like they did a gold overlay with the way that they had it all. But I like him and he's cute, and I thought he was a really cute little different like pendant and stuff that like I liked it. I thought it was really cute. And that is all of my necklaces and bracelets. And then I just have some pins. So we found quite a few cute little pins here. The first one that I ended up getting is this really cute lock and key. I do need to clean them up a little bit because they're a little bit dirty, but I kind of liked them as like a little subtlety. And I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with them, but I feel like one day I will have a need for them and they will be perfect. Let me go and show you the other pins before I show you the hat pins. This little guy is an adorable little tiny like Christmas nutcracker with an adorable little face. Oh my god, he is so cute. It's ridiculous. And I love him, and he is joining my Christmas pin collection. And then we have this one, which is just a pretty generic Christmas tree, but it has all of its little sequences, we'll call them sequences for the day, crystals in them, and I liked him. And I mean, if he's gonna come with a cute little nutcracker, might as well. So I got those two, so together they were $1, so 50 cents each. Again, not that bad whatsoever. And then we move on to our little hat pins. They actually had quite a few cute hat pins. I ended up passing over a few of them. If they're on sale next week, I'll probably pick them up, but they just weren't at a good price. But I did find this guy. So this guy's a cute little honeybee. I like him. And then we've just got a cute little simple gold leaf, which I kind of like his simplicity to him. He is pretty nice and simple and has its detail, but it doesn't feel like it's overkilled by minimalism. It's just a simple leaf, which is cute. And then I got this little guy. Going along with the animal theme is a little tiny sparrow that I thought was cute and a little bit more contemporary. I know that I normally associate sparrows with like early 2000 tattoos almost, or maybe like mid 2000s. I was a child, so I have an issue sometimes knowing popular like opinion to be like, did I discover it and am I misremembering it as something that was cool at the time? Or was I completely off base? As well as things that it's like, oh, I had no idea that was popular then. Going to my last little pin, I actually really liked this one, although I will show you. So it's this really pretty golden like flower, but then it has a little Mary charm on it. So I wasn't sure about it, and I kind of did want to look up a little bit more to see if there was like a common meaning behind the flower then. I don't know. I find it interesting that they would put just like a yellow flower and a Mary charm on it. The back of it has like a M marking. I don't really know. So I might look this up just for funsies on Google Lens. I love using Google Lens. Oh my god, I Google everything. I'm like, yep, let me take a photo, tell me what it is. So that's actually all of the jewelry that I got for today. Not an absolute ton. I've taken a little bit of a step back from some of the jewelry side, and I focused a little bit more on the candles. So yeah, that's all that we did for today. And now moving on to the non-glass section, non-jewelry section of our video. I did find this little guy, which is this really cute sequined purse. And it's kind of hard to actually see how these, the barrette beads, the barrelette beads, they kind of have this like dark little, almost like vintage age to them, and it just gives them a really cool color. So I thought this was an absolutely darling little vintage beaded purse, and I was really happy with him, and I got him for $1.99, and he wasn't even on sale. He was just $1.99, and I was like, look, person, you were looking to buy this is right here, and you underpriced it, but hey, thank you. That means I don't have to wait until next week and hope it's still there. I did get 3 different books. I've been enjoying their book section. They actually have quite a bit of turnover, and with that, it's not always the same books. Now, I did go to Goodwill on Monday, and I looked at their book section, and it was almost completely and totally the same as like the 2 weeks before that I had been there. And I'm like, oh, that's fun, except it takes a really long time to look at your book section. And at a certain point in time, I'm just going to stop looking at your book section because you never get anything new in. but that's not the case in Red, White, and Blue. So I got 3 different books today. I'll go with my least interesting one first. So this is the Complete Guide to Digital Photography. It's pretty old. A lot of it, I'm sure, is absolutely outdated. However, it does use a bit of Photoshop, and it does help with more of like the digital photography and breaking things down, as well as it's supposed to help me with like composing the perfect portrait, creating breathtaking landscapes, capturing the natural world. I also think that it should hopefully help me when I'm using Adobe to kind of do masking, even though I know that the Adobe Photoshop that I'm using is even made for mobile, let alone the real one that's made for your computer, let alone what they were using back in 2001. But I liked it, and I thought that this would probably go pretty well. Because I did go through my other photography book, and I actually reached the end of it, and it did help me with some of the stuff. This was it. It looks a lot more and thicker than it was to actually read, because a lot of it is pictures, and there's also just sections that I completely skipped over, like developing film. I don't have film to go and develop, so it was like, hey, that's not really for me. So I just kind of skipped, but I was able to actually finish this guy, and I do like him. I don't know if I can genuinely say that my pictures have gotten all that much better, but I think that it's pretty noticeable. I at least know a little bit more of when I'm trying to set something up and like what I'm trying to like show in the focus. So like I have gotten a little bit better at that, and hopefully this will be a little bit, this will just help me out a little bit. I also kind of sometimes like learning about how they used to do something, because it gives you kind of like this context of this like in-between stage. So hopefully that'll help. Also, it has like a coffee stain on it. If you can kind of see, yeah, you can see that coffee stain. I don't know. I think there's something about a coffee stain on a photography book that is just like, okay, you're the classic photographer. Okay. But I got him, and I look forward to reading him, although he is much thicker and denser in information, so I may just have to go to the points that I want to. This next one, I don't know how I feel about it, because I actually got it to break up and steal the photos out of and literally just like cut them out. It's flashbacks. It was a whole $1 for this book, and it's a brief history of film. So it kind of goes into the beginning of like some of like the German films, some of like the 1920s, and like all of the history. But it also has just these like great photographs that you can just tell are like absolutely iconic visual film moments. Like that is absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and like you can recognize the old-timey, like the photos are just so gorgeous. The only downside is that a part of me, now that I'm like seeing it and I was starting to read some of the book, I'm like, I don't know if I can take this book apart. Oh, hey! But originally it looks like it was being sold at UPJ Bookstore for $49.50, which means that this was definitely a book required for a college class. So I also find it hilarious that I'm sure that the original person probably spent like $75 if they're selling it resale at $50, and then I got it for a whole $1. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. I kind of want to cut him up, but I don't know. We'll see. I feel like I would use them to photograph like things on top of and maybe like do something with them creative if I like just had them as like pictures. But I also don't know if I want to break it apart. So that is the first 2 books. The next one I got, this one is a little cutie. He was a whole 99 cents. This is 30-Second Mysteries. So I'll read you the example one real quick. The masked man calmly and quietly approaches a young woman. The woman kneels and begs the masked man to leave her alone. Her husband does nothing to intervene, even though he could easily stop her from being harmed. Although the masked man's identity is known, he is not arrested even after he kills the woman. Who was the woman, and what was her husband's name? Anne Boleyn was the second wife of King Henry VIII. So they have little tiny mysteries and everything else. I actually thought that they were pretty hard. Whenever I got home and started reading them off to my boyfriend was like, oh, I got this, I got this, I got this. And was like, okay, all right. I thought you were going to enjoy this, not just run through it so quick. But that's actually all of my non-glass things. I will show you my resin mold really quickly because I tried to do, like, resin just looks fun. So I did order some resin, like a making kit, and then I ordered a little tiny koi fish mold. And I tried to make a little resin guy, and I did an okay job with this little guy. I don't think that he came out super well. The only thing that we had issues with is like the very back of their fin. But I kind of wanted to like maybe just put it on top of the candles and see if it looked like particularly cute. I don't think that I'm going to run with this idea, but it was fun to make it. And if I need to make resin molds for something else, I now know how to do it. So that was a little bit of fun. Yeah, so I got to go and do all of that. And then going kind of with all of that, one of the other reasons why I wanted to go and do like resin is that I told you guys that I've been really interested in like the repair of glass, and especially the like wabi-sabi things are more beautiful because of their imperfections. And so this one who had a very chipped rim, I actually took him and I took some of that like gold pigment resin and I just kind of went around the top. And now this is not super sharp whatsoever. I almost want to do one more just because it didn't come out quite as thick as I exactly wanted it to. But I think it wasn't too bad whatsoever, and I really like the idea behind it. So I was happy with him. I am probably going to use the resin again for this maybe. I may also just see if I can do something else, because the truth is the resin wasn't as, it didn't fill in as much as I wanted it to for some of the cracks. So I might try and look for something that is a little bit more thicker. So we will see. I will keep you guys updated on the resin adventures. Speaking of adventures and other things, I did tell you guys that now I'm kind of like staggering the glass. That way I at least get to bring it and clean it before I show you guys everything. But I tend to make them into candles, and then some of them got a little bit confused of which one I had shown, which ones I hadn't shown. But I am better, and I'm going to make sure to actually separate them out. And I have the glass that I got today downstairs washing right now, which is nice, and I found some uranium glass. But this is one of the teacups that I got for last week, and I actually made him into a cute little candle. You can actually see the little candle holder, and I just used like poster tack. Although this pink looks a lot better in this lighting than it does in real life, because in real life this is like fuchsia pink. Like if you can see how fuchsia it is on the side, that's pretty much what this wax looks like. Oh yeah, you can see the wax now. It's a little bit bright for me. I used a liquid-based dye for the wax this time, and the first time I used a green one, and I'd only put like 5 drops in it, and like I don't think that you could see it all. So the next time I decided to up it to 15 drops, thinking that the pink and it being rose pink would come out like a really pretty like pink pastel, but it turned out to be more fuchsia. But that's why we make candles, and it's a learning experience, and that's what we're doing. So I got actually 6 little tiny teacups that actually also have plates that are just like this, that are now into candles, and they were made in Japan, and they were hand painted, which I thought was really cute. So there was that one. Speaking of other candles that I made, I really did make almost everything that I got the previous week into candles, because they were downstairs and clean. And in my mind, I was like just starting to make candles, and I was like, oh, this is clean glassware. I'll go and make them into candles. Forgot that I hadn't shown them off, but hey, now you get to see my candles. So this next one is a cutie. He actually has a lid, which I really like. And this actually was supposed to be a purple, is the coloring that I tried to do with it, but it ends up being a little bit more pale pink. But I got this little guy, and he wasn't too bad, and I do actually have the prices. He was originally $3.99, but I got him for $2. So at that price, how can you beat it? You just can't. So The next one that I made into a candle was this gorgeous green one. So these green goblets were only $1, which is nothing, absolutely nothing. I did actually identify them and I had the pattern all written down, but I couldn't find the little tiny tag that I made for them somehow. And then I just didn't have time to go and look it up for this stream. But I got 2 of these guys and they made really cute candles. And then I was able to use up the last of my black wax, which I do like. The black wax like blocks for the dye is, I think, the only way to actually get black wax. But you don't need to have black wax. You can choose whatever color. So these next 2 were ones that I got at Goodwill. Now, the Goodwill that I had, they had a lot of different things that it's like what their kitchenware is and their like specialty wear versus like what their like daily drinking glasses. Like some of it kind of is crossed over and they're not all labeled. So I'm hoping I only paid $1 for these guys. I ended up spending quite a bit at Goodwill. So I'm not sure if they charged me everything correctly or if I wasn't paying attention. I appreciate that I don't have to take off the labels from them, but I also just wish that like there wasn't a question of like, what is the person going to think it is whenever they ring it up? But they should have just been 99 cents. So this one is a gorgeous smoky quartz color. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I think this one will make a fantastic candle. I cannot wait to see how he turns out. He's also a really perfect size. So after I've made quite a few candles and then I try and burn some of the learning experience, not failures, learning experiences, soy takes forever to burn. It really does. I had like a fluted champagne that I had and it didn't really work out well. So I put it in my basement where my cat's litter box is. And I just let it like burn, just thinking that it would things. I woke up the next day and it was still burning. Like this candle burned for a solid more than like day and a half. Because of that, I learned that maybe I need to start getting smaller containers because it takes forever for soy wax to burn. So I think this one will go really well. And then they're close in size, even though they're not actually the similar, or they're not the same, I should say. And this one even has a little chip. But this is just the blue version, and I got 3 of each. So I had 3 of the smoky quartz and then 3 of this kind. The other ones are cleaning downstairs, but I really liked them. And sorry, I was trying to look to see if something was a manufacturing mold line or if it had been scratched. So I got those 2, and I only have one more thing to show you guys. And I know that after last week's video that was over an hour long, that this seems way too short. Except that I didn't even get through editing everything. Although I did just lie to you, I actually have 2 more things to show you. So this was also at a Goodwill. These were little tiny Pyrexes, although this one was the Goodwill from Southside, so not the Goodwill that I went to on Monday. It is marked on the bottom. That's really cute. That I liked it, and I just think that this will make a cute little candle. I really liked the color, and it's nice, hefty quality. Yeah, so I was really excited for him. I think he's going to be really cute, and I got 6 of these, so I think I did a pretty good job at those. And then this is the other thing that I made the mistake of accidentally leaving my black light in my purse that I left in my car. And I thought that this was uranium glass and I wasn't able to check, so I purchased them anyways. Which had they not been, I don't think I would have, because I think I actually paid like $2.99 for these bowls. But these are Pyrex bowls, and they are the green Fiesta is the coloring, but then the pattern is a Corel pattern. Is that like, if you can kind of see, it's almost as if they have like pyramids that are swirling on the outside of it. So I ended up getting 2 of these. I don't know if I'm going to make them into candles. It's a very wide candle. I mean, I think that they are really pretty. They are Pyrex. I know that people genuinely like Pyrex. It is a little bit scratched up overall, but I mean, Pyrex will last forever, and it is a pretty green. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. We will see if I ever make them into candles, but we'll also see if I ever sell my candles. So it needs a little bit of both. That is all that I have for you today. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time, and I will see you next week, okay? Bye, guys.